All right. Well, we have made it. Oh, shoot. Fade to stop. Fade to error.
Fade to error. Talk about fade to error.
I'm Jason Brown, and I've got Joanne Parsons from the Tri-County Fair Board in the studio today. Say hello.
Hey, hi.
Hi. So you have a town hall meeting coming up. Let's talk about when that is, maybe how that's going to go about. And then I got a couple questions here I'm going to ask you. And guys, stay with us because we're going to play some songs and come back and forth. We got a lot to talk about today.
We do. It is a big topic. And to start off with, the Fair Board has gotten together and we are going to do a town hall meeting. And that's going to be this Wednesday, the 31st. And we're going to have it at the Methodist Church on Fowler Street. And I need to give a big thank you to them because they have donated it to the Friends of the Fair, the supporter of the fair.
Nice.
So we can have a town hall meeting. We're going to start at 6. We'll try to talk only until 7. And, I can't say hi within 5 minutes. So I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work out because we have so much to talk about. But we do want to give a half an hour time to at least.
Oh, it's going to be longer.
I know. To questions and answers. We're going to be as factual as possible.
Right.
But also, there's a lot of emotion surrounding this, Jason. I mean, this has been
There really is.
Horrific thing that has happened to our community.
I've had people call the station saying she should be in jail, that the DA should be investigating. And I'm sitting there because, I'm friends with Jen, so I'm walking a fine line here. But it's like, you don't know the whole story.
Well, absolutely not. The one who should say something like that
Right.
Needs to move out of town or go
Exactly.
someplace. They need to find another place to live.
Then I've had people call who are support, want to know what's going on. I have to keep my mouth shut. So it's really good that you guys are doing this. I'm really happy that the town hall meeting is going to be happening. It's Wednesday, and it starts at 6 and goes till 7:30. What's the latest that it can go in there? Well, people are going to have questions.
The church hasn't said too much to me about that. They did ask me how much time, and I didn't want to carry it out too long. On the other hand, if it's necessary, we'll set up another one.
If we have to.
That's
Well, people are going to have a lot of questions. I mean, there's a lot of information in there in the audit report. And I do before I read this one thing, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
So it is my understanding that there hasn't been an audit in 15 years. Is this correct?
That's correct.
So we've had 2 embezzlements, real cash money stolen, and no audit.
And there was 2 convictions.
Right.
And no audit.
Right. And this one's not going down that path. This is a completely different thing.
Correct.
Why? I'm asking from a concerned citizen perspective. I'm not bashing either entity here. Why didn't they do an audit sooner?
Well, that would be up to the state to answer.
I got to talk to them.
The CDF for them to answer. And Michael Flores. Jen didn't come on board until late in 2018.
Right.
And the audit, and we will skip around, Jason, because it has so many different facets. But since we're talking about, why didn't CDFA send down an auditor to help the fairgrounds before it went broke?
Right.
And so when Jen is hired in 2018, it's real important to put out there that we were broke. There was $5,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
And I'll go into Jen's hiring in the contract later. But Judy Wagner, who is our president now, and I'm the vice president of the board,
right,
had to borrow between $20,000 and $30,000 from CDFA,
wow,
who was right below, controlled by the state, the governor's office. And we hire Jen. She pays the help. She pays the electric bill, gas, whatever it might take to keep the fairgrounds running. In that time, she has to get grants. She has to get events to happen. She has to try to work to have employees come. and do everything that absolutely to keep the fairgrounds going. She's got a huge passion, a huge love for the fairgrounds, as we do as a community.
Right. I've been there over 20 years.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, we see each other at the fairgrounds. We say, how's your grandson? How's your wife? What's happened to your family?
But you were my Fairgrounds girlfriend. And, that joke years ago because we saw each other all the time.
So, but that's what I mean. This is a community.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
the fairgrounds is where we meet and hug and love each other and find out about each other's family and support each other. I mean, this is a town where you know whose car that is. And when you're driving down the street, you wave. And we're a safe community, but we also are involved with each other and with the fairgrounds. Let me go back to the audit.
Right.
So it was $5,000. Yeah, that's all in the bank. Judy has to ask CDFA, California Department of Food and Ag, to give our fairgrounds a loan.
Yeah.
All right. Jen's on board. Today, this past year, we don't have $5,000 in the bank. We have at least $500,000 to $600,000 in the bank. We had $1 million year last year.
Wow.
And she belongs in jail. I beg her pardon.
I know.
You know, I'd like to meet some of those people face to face.
I don't know them. They just call.
You know, yeah.
I just tell them and call the people that you need to call. I'm not the person to call.
Well, maybe they didn't get a blue ribbon when they were in kindergarten.
Maybe.
Or something. I don't know. But
No participation trophy.
Exactly.
The whole new
Instead of
generation
working
out there.
hard.
But back to the thing. So Jen came on board. She's willing to do it. We have good money in the bank. I'm going to read because I just want to set the tone
Okay.
for this audit, and then we're going to go to a song.
All right.
So this is an email that was corresponding back and forth. And Jen's response says, in addition, I didn't hand you the wrong laptop. You took the wrong laptop and didn't check before you left that you had the correct one. I take offense at the statement. And then she goes on to say, also, your comments to me on Friday. This is the auditor. You sunk yourself. This just went south bad.
Yep.
She said that.
Yes.
Or
she did.
this individual. And Jen writes, we're threatening and not acceptable. When we come back after Out of the Blue, we'll continue talking about this and getting a response. This is definitely a bad tone in an audit. I'm here with Joanne Parsons from the Tri-County Fair Board, and we're discussing basically kind of a preview of what you'll expect Wednesday night at the town hall meeting. So explain this whole auditor process, because this, you suck yourself, this just went south bad.
Can you imagine?
Who talks like that?
I mean, professional, do you know, or even anyone on the street coming up to you saying something like that? She was so inappropriate and so out of line and so negative. Let me just back up first to say to you that we have done such a fabulous job, Jen and the Fair Board, in doing all these events, bringing these events in. Remember, when I first got on the fairgrounds as a fair trustee, we only had the fair, we had junior livestock, and we had meal days.
Right, that was it.
That's it. Look at what we have to.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now going back to the auditor, we actually were anticipating an audit because we have become.
It was welcomed at the.
We've become the superstar. When we go to the Western Fairs Association to Reno, that's with Nevada, that's with Arizona and New Mexico. They love us. I mean, we get more awards. People come up to Jen. They have us as board members working with other board members. How do you get this passed? How do you work together? What do you all do? Well, it's because we're all very involved in our community and on the fair board. So you have that going on. And then when you have someone come in and there's no prior training, none of us have ever gotten a book, a binder, had any training on what you're supposed to do. And, I've talked to bank auditors since this has all happened and other people who are auditors. And usually someone will come and say, okay, these are the kind of things we're going to look for so that you're not wasting everybody's time and you're a newbie and you've never done it before. Well, that would have been lovely if the state had done something like that. However, they send down this very opinionated, negative person who challenges people in their answers. And she was unhappy when she left. And there were people in the Fairgrounds office when this Visha leaves to go back to Sacramento.
Okay.
And we didn't know she wanted a computer. Why didn't she ask? She picked up a computer
And walked out.
and walked out.
Interesting.
Absolutely. And then when she gets to Sacramento, we don't even know why she took the computer. When she gets to Sacramento, there's communication going back and forth between she and Jen. She accuses Jen of deliberately giving her the wrong laptop. Now, this is an auditor, the main auditor for the state of California that does Fairgrounds. If she's got that position, and this is what she does, and this is her job, why didn't she ask? And why didn't she check when she was out in the car?
Right.
And I mean, because if this was supposed to be the golden egg or something like that, then it was really up to her to check before she left. And then once she got up there, she was worried about, this is going to affect her job. And so she's accusing Jen of giving her the wrong laptop. Jason,
Having your own butt.
that is a lie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know.
Well,
Like I said, I'm trying to wear the neutral hat here. I run being the news guy right now, but I also do the state Fairgrounds IT stuff. So it's a really big pickle here. Staying neutral, but knowing the timelines of everything. And I remember all this going down very, very well. But my curiosity is, and this is something that I would know, is, was there ever at any point, especially because this is to me harassing talk. Was there at any time that you guys tried to get a different auditor on?
We did. In fact, Judy Wagner, we have documents after documents, pages of emails sent back and forth. And Judy has kept that timeline of what day, what...
Well, I got it over here.
Isn't that...
It's insane. Yes, it's just insane.
Yeah.
We don't even... We would have to be here till tomorrow to go through this.
I'm with you today. So
what happened? Why didn't they get what was the response?
The response was they would definitely think about it. They would take it into consideration. And we have heard from 2 different people at least that are part of Michael Flores's group that suggested that they don't go down this road with this. Because remember, the audit comes out, we see it, and we only are given so much time to answer it.
Right.
Okay? And so we took hours to go over each question. We looked
in there.
Oh, there is. I mean, anybody looking at that for the first time would go, oh, were those people crazy? I mean, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, nobody can deny that. It's a horrible document.
Mm-hmm.
And we did hear from, I'm taking a sidebar here, we did hear from an attorney that the way the state answered those questions in the audit were almost impenetrable. In other words, it was going to be very difficult for us to explain our side of the story because some is she said, he said. For example, like Visha lying about saying that Jen deliberately handed her
the wrong lab.
Yeah.
What?
So, and the RV situation with Jen living there.
Yeah, let's definitely get into that. Is that where they're talking about the embezzlement part? Who the people are calling? What?
I have no idea.
No, it's not. The only thing, well, they say that there's like something missing, and I think these are rumors that are being spread around on Bishop 411 money.
Oh, no, there is no money, and would you people please come forward?
Yes. Stop
with,
governor.
with your information.
There's your answer. There's no money missing. Thank you. That was simple.
Well, that was an easy one.
Yeah. Talk about the living situation that you're just gonna bring up.
Well,
Now that we settled the whole money issue.
okay. Well, there's there's several different things
Right.
that are flat out wrong, and that let me just say this: some of the audit answers. And well, let's back up just 1 second.
So whatever we got to do.
Okay, so we get a copy of the audit. We're flabbergasted.
Right.
We're like, oh my gosh, should we get attorneys? What should we do?
Right.
So we called CDFA and said, no, we're not happy.
Tell everybody though what CDFA is.
That's the California Department of Food and Ag.
Okay.
And Fairs and Expo are a part of that.
Mm.
But Michael Flores is the deputy secretary to CDFA, which oversees Fairgrounds.
Okay.
And again, you know what else is interesting, Jason, is that their state people, Flores is appointed just as the Fair Boards are by the governor's office.
By the governor. Okay.
Now, he has a 401k and he has health insurance and he gets a huge salary, whereas the board gets nothing except for we love our community, and so we serve in the very best of our abilities. Well, because we were so distraught about this audit, we said and called and said, do we need an attorney? And they said, no, we have an attorney. We have an attorney for you.
Okay.
And he's a staff member under Hague, which is Michael Flores' individual that he brings around with him.
Okay.
And he's the attorney for CDFA, the what do you call it, the general counsel attorney. So he's at the top of the gang there, just like Flores is. Anyway, they give us a staff attorney. We talk to him on the phone, and then we have a meeting with him. He comes down to Bishop, and we, the board, have but we have written our responses to the audit that highly disagree with what the state sent to us. Peter Weber, attorney, state, works for Flores directly, says, this can all go away very easily. They don't want to read any of your answers. They just want you to comply. And so what does comply mean? Comply means here's a template. You write these answers down. Everything will go away and it will be taken care of. We really didn't want to do that because we wanted to tell our side of the story and because it needed to be told. And that's, part of the reason I'm here today and part of the reason.
Right. How would it all go away? I don't understand that.
Well, they made that.
Do anything?
Thank you. They would just file it away and,
No, but Jen would have still had to have resigned.
No. They just said, you just change your audit answers, and because the auditor and the office, they don't have time to read all this. They didn't care. Just put down 1 or 2 sentences. You're working on stuff. We will take stuff into submission. We will change. We will send us, some policies, and we'll read them. Now, this is up to the state. Again, the board members have never received any training on auditing or anything else. And so, where's the lack of responsibility there?
That's interesting. I did not know that.
That's right. So we were just on our own. Anyway.
So you stood on your ethics and your morals?
Well, and we did tell Peter at the time, okay, we'll do this, but you do need to understand there is no way this board is going to do anything. We are not losing Jen, but we're not firing her. We are not.
Right.
And he, fine. Okay. Well, he agreed. And then, but it was really scary, Jason, to sign something that we didn't want to sign. But the threat was if we didn't, excuse the expression, all hell would break loose.
think we can say that word, yeah.
Okay, and if we didn't comply with them, we were really going to be in trouble.
Right.
And we had no idea what really be in trouble meant. And so
That's where you're at now?
Peter goes off and goes back to Sacramento. And then we set up a meeting to meet with Flores and Haig. And that is to review and to go over the final audit. We asked them for some additional time because it was a time when we had, high school rodeo, or we had things coming up. And so we said, can you give us a little bit more time? Well, they were very unhappy about doing that. And also one of the other reasons is we had two people that were not able to meet the time they wanted to meet. So we had agreed, and I believe it was at least two other times to meet with them. They backed out, not the fair board. They backed out. So on the third time, we're on a Zoom call. And I'll never forget this because Sarah, our newest board member, bless her heart, they're arguing with us about they want to do a back-to-back meeting with Bishop and Ventura. And that really didn't matter or mean anything much to us because we were talking about our audit, not Ventura's audit. And so when we came up with the 24th of June, they were saying, well, now, you've canceled. And we said, oh, no, you're the ones who canceled. We have never canceled on you. So the 24th show comes, and it's 3 o'clock. Because when they wanted us all to be there, we were there. And let me go back to Sarah Fogarty. Yes, Sarah. Because when we said the 24th, and they were saying, well, we've just given you so many breaks. Sarah said, well, did you want a quorum or not to go through this meeting? And that they stopped and they said, we'll be there on the 24th. We want a quorum. And we didn't really probably realize what that meant to them at the time. There's a lot of things that, we have, I think, 5 very fine, educated, well-rounded people on the Fairgrounds board. But we were truly naive about what was about to happen. We had no idea. So on the 26th, 3 o'clock, we're all there. The mayor actually is there, and 2 other people because they want to talk during our open session, when public can talk. And they want to say, we're here, we support Jen. Please take what we think about her and what she's done for this community under consideration. Well, we wait and we wait. But Mike Francesconi, who is here in our interim CEO at this point, he also showed up. I don't know that we knew he was going to show up, but that night he became the interim CEO after the closed session.
Okay.
Well, all right. So it's 3 o'clock, 3:15. Finally, Michael Flores says, oh, I got a text they're going to be late. And so we said, well, okay. And we waited another, I don't believe they got there till 5:20.
Wow.
And
Traffic.
Traffic, that's right. Oh, they must have had to spend their per diem. What is their $28 a day per diem or something? Anyway.
No.
That's right. They couldn't go to in and hospital. Jason, every once in a while, you have to sit back and you have to go, oh my gosh, what's going on? And you have to put a smile on your face, just think, oh my gosh, they tried this hard to make something out of something. I don't know. But anyway, I happened to be out in the foyer, and we were at Alta One. That's where we hold our board meetings. And I look out in the parking lot, and there's 2 highway patrol people out there. And I thought, oh, well, maybe they're doing a deposit or something. I don't know what they're doing there. And then turns out that Michael Flores and Haig thought they needed protection to come to our board meeting. And this is when
At a bank.
I'd credit you.
Okay.
All right. They needed support because they were going to meet up with these 5 wild women.
Sorry.
That, well, we've made a joke out of it about the ace group and saying, okay, these guys were afraid of these 5 women. They have to have highway patrol to protect them. They needed bodyguards. Anyway,
I wonder if did the highway patrolmen stay the whole time?
they did.
I wonder if they were there more for as witnesses.
No,
No.
they.
Okay.
We found out.
That's my job to ask.
That's right. They found out that Michael Flores had called for an escort.
Okay.
State escort, and state would be highway patrol. And I'm not kidding, Jason. I mean, if you don't think that didn't just scare us,
Oh, I bet he did.
well, you talk about intimidation. I mean, wow. Anyway.
Well, let's play this real quick. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Promise. Well, we're back. Paid the bills. Well, this is quite interesting. I do have some questions here. Well, we know this. Okay, first off, you guys are still the board, but no power.
Yeah, I was just going to say, may I?
Yeah, explain what that is.
Okay, so let me finish. And thank you.
Yeah.
Well, because it is so complicated, and it's
there's so many rumors going on out there. I'm hoping that this is an opportunity. I know it's a town hall, but not everybody's going to come out of the town hall. So I'm hoping that this helps the process of getting the rumors to stop. And there's 2 sides to this, but please keep going.
Well, the 2 sides are the state of California taking over our fairgrounds.
Yep.
And then there is our side who wants local control. And we can talk about that too, because that would be a future that I see. And that's the city or the county buying the fairgrounds. And then we not under the state. The state gives us no money. So, except for they have an arm over us, and it's a heavy arm over us. And the people that are naysayers, they're never going to go away. They don't have a busy life.
No, anywhere.
So
no, if you're at my side of the fence, I've learned to not respond to them.
Yeah,
they go out into the comment sections, and I always get infuriated at times. And then I look, and it's the same person changing their name, but the same email address. And it's like, forget this. This is how I work my energy or my time, and they don't need to know. They just got small pieces. That's all their lives are. So
that's right.
So they're gonna be that unhappy, be that unhappy. I think there are a legitimate group of people out there that want to know the truth.
I do too.
I think there's a group of people out there that are legitimately concerned that something did happen that was wrong on your guys' side or whatsoever. And that's all based on these documents that have been released. And I really feel it is important. And that's why I don't think your question answer time is going to be 30 minutes on Wednesday, because I think a lot of people have some sincere questions that I believe that you'll have honest answers back for them. I've known you for years. I've never known you to be dishonest. But go back to this timeline and let's get caught back up there, and then we'll ask these other questions.
Okay, good.
There's just too much information.
Well, Jason, it is, and every single day. I mean, I see people in the grocery store, and they want to know. And we as a board have had to be very careful that we haven't done anything against the Brown Act or Bag the King or anything like that, or do something that we accidentally might say something and someone can misconstrue it because they don't have all the information.
Well, I think it was wise of you guys to be very, very quiet for a bit.
I hope people understand that. If you don't think we didn't want to come out the next day and start talking about what had just happened and the takeover by Michael Flores and the state for our fairgrounds, I mean, it was awful. But going back to that night, we gave our side of the audit. We did not go with what Peter Weber had said. We told Flores and Haig that we need to give our side of the story. We probably spent an hour and a half maybe talking to them, telling them almost word for word, each item on what we had done, how we had changed things. And, he sat there and he could have cared less. He, stared up the ceiling, he's swinging his knee, and kind of tapping his fingers, looking at the cell phone, and our board is literally saying, "Hey, we don't want this to happen. If we've done something and we really did know about it, please let us know. But under no uncertain terms did Jen or anyone steal any money." So everybody just needs to get over that, because there is no crime.
Yeah.
No crime.
Or there would be right now prosecution taking place like the other two CEOs.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So we left that meeting.
Yeah.
Before we left that meeting, we give our side of the story. Jason, let me take this piece of paper out of your hand. Scolding people. Flores looks at Hank and he said, "Give me the letter." Gives him the letter. Puts it down like that. Reads it and said, "Jen's gone. The fair board has no power. You can't call a meeting. You can't vote. Goodbye." Walks out the door. And so, and we had to struggle with that. But fortunately,
You didn't see that coming.
no, not at all. Jen had, and she has had some health issues.
Also, let me go back. Let me go back. No, seriously, guys. Let me go back to this email dated December 8th, 2023. It's the one where it says you suck yourself. This just went really south and bad. And it says, "I do not welcome the harassment, slander, stress, and mental duress that has come with this."
That's right. It's been awful. Can you only imagine?
That's over 6 months ago.
Oh, exactly. And then, she's still.
I'm just quoting that, guys. This isn't me making an opinion on anything, but back then,
That's right.
talking about the health and the stress.
That's right. And wow, and trying to do two fairgrounds, and keep our fairgrounds going and planning for our fair. We are going to have a fair, Jason. It's going to be wonderful, but it's only going to be wonderful because Jen signed all the contracts, has everything in place.
Right.
So people might say, "See, we didn't need her," but
No, that's not.
well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. People don't understand what it takes to get things done. Where we would find out whether you need it or not would be next year. So at this point, the fair board still has no power.
No power.
You can attend meetings, you can listen, but you have no say.
That's correct.
Can you talk at all?
Yes, we can, and we are going to be careful. There's only going to be one of us or two of us at one time talking at Friends of the Fair, because
I'm talking like in a like if the state does a meeting, you told me off air.
Oh,
you could come in and attend the meeting. Yes. Who's allowed to? You have no voting power.
No,
but are you allowed to ask questions?
They haven't told us the rules yet.
Okay,
they've only told us that when and if the state desires to have a board meeting, they will let us know. But they don't care if we're in attendance, if there's a quorum, they don't need a quorum. This Michael Flores said he would bring in his own team.
Well, I know the Mike CEO right now would love to go home.
But
Sacramento, he was going to be here just a few days. Then it was going to be 2 weeks. Then it was going to be the fair. Now it's October. This is dragging out.
Yeah, and why? I mean,
that I don't have the answers for. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll have to reach out to the city.
Why is the state doing this to us?
So,
yes, go ahead. Sorry,
okay.
There's just so much, Jason.
I know. Since we're down this path and you are where you're at, what happens next? Is there going to be to me, when something like this happens, there's an outside audit that would take place to some degree. One, I'm dumbfounded. One, they gave you an attorney that works under them. I would think that should come from a completely different entity. There's just things that I'm trying to wrap my mind around that don't quite work out. If this attorney's best interest is going to be for his boss, not for you. So that doesn't make sense to me. So in a situation like this, I would think that wouldn't there be an outside entity that would come in, like a third party, to do investigation on everything. And I know it comes down to he said, she said type of
Somebody
thing,
does.
which gets very, 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 very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But is there anything going to happen like that?
Well, you did remind me of something, and that is we did ask Hag when we had the closed session, and this is not talking about, I'm not yet saying anything I shouldn't or couldn't say or couldn't.
That's good as for.
Well, no, we did ask him how he could be there. Why wasn't Peter there representing us? So during this meeting,
Well, so getting to come to the meeting, you had no representation.
No,
even though the representation was okay.
We were appointed representation. Mm-hmm. They did not allow him to come, nor did he call us.
Is there a reason why?
We have no idea.
No, nothing has been disclosed.
And then that's when I asked, hey, well, how can you be supporting Michael Flores, and you're his attorney, and now you're sending our attorney as well? I mean, that doesn't make sense. Mm. And so we were there without representation, and we had their attorney tell us he was representing both sides.
Wow. Okay. So what happens? Is there going to be a third-party type of investigation that happens in the?
We certainly hope so. We actually don't know the answer to that. I do know that we have, asked the senator. We have sent out letters to Karen Ross, who is above Michael Flores. She's going to be retiring soon, so I don't know if there's going to be an opening or anyone's looking for a new position, and so I don't know the answer to that.
What about civil rights?
We have filed with civil rights as well.
Okay, for sure. And how does that all happen?
That happens where they will indeed, and they are going to do an investigation.
Are you guys as the board and everybody protected by doing that, or does that bring some holes?
I certainly hope we are, because Jason, I've told you this on more than one occasion. We were told, blatantly threatened, intimidated. There will be retribution. You will be sorry that you're doing this. We are the only Fairgrounds board that is fighting back against the audit. The other 4 Fairgrounds that Michael Flores audited and went to, either the CEO retired, resigned.
So this isn't the only Fairgrounds?
No, there's 4 others.
Okay.
But we're the only ones
that
have stood up. And we were warned not to. We were warned that there would be trouble if we did. But what they're doing and what they have done is wrong. And
how are other community organizations handling this? We got the City of Bishop, we got the Board of Supervisors. As a community, what is happening there?
Well, I would tell you that from my perspective, my point of view, I certainly think that we have the city and the county behind us. Okay. And we have other groups as well. And they've been holding back as well as far as what they're saying or how they're sending out their support. Mm-hmm. They don't want to do it too soon. They want to do it at the right time. Mm-hmm. They don't want to mix anything up that, not that anybody's doing anything wrong.
Right. But there's no point in bringing more heaps of coals upon yourself at the wrong time.
Right. And it's not necessarily heaps of coal.
Well, it feels like it from what you're telling me. I'm just making a perspective here.
But there is they've all been positive. They have seen, the city has seen what Jen has brought financially to our community. Mm-hmm. And so the city, county's made money because of the events that Jen has brought.
The marketplace.
That's right. And then, of course, the state makes money off of the taxes that it's spent. So it's really unclear as to why. I don't know. I honestly don't know what the why is. Why they are doing this and pursuing this.
Don't either. And we're going to play some commercials and we'll come back one more time.
Okay.
bet you Joanne, like Buddha man, you wish you could go back in time.
Oh, wow. Yes, absolutely. I was so, Jason, I've been doing this a long time, obviously. I have never been so proud and so happy for this community and for this board and for Jen. I mean, when I think of what we're going to do at the fair, and we have a special event happening. It's going to be one of those things that flies around up in the air and put on his show. I don't want to say too much more than that, but, I'm very sad.
I'm so sad I don't even know if I want to be there.
A lot of people feel that way.
I've given myself for over 20-something years to this Fairgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I don't know.
Well, and that's how when people say, so what's...
But I love my community.
Me too. And it's just where people will say, well, what's going to happen? And
yeah, what is going to happen?
Michael Flores and his team have taken over. And
what do you see the future?
I would love it for our community to be able to control what happens at the fairgrounds. I mean, to go back to that one statement that I made, that the estate gives us no money to help out.
Okay.
And so, we have emergency services and everything out there. So they have no idea. The audit doesn't mean anything. No, they just walked away and they're gone. So
right. If
we could put something together with the county or the city and own the fairgrounds, with DWP, it would be wonderful. All those tax dollars. I mean, if people want to talk about money, then all that money would stay here and would be used.
What are the odds of that?
Oh gosh, slim.
Okay.
I just
don't want to give people false hope.
No, I don't.
The reality is the state is probably going to come in and take over the fairgrounds, the point where they want it to be, and run it from here on out.
That's right.
It sounds like.
Yeah. Well, that's the message that they gave us on June 24th.
Okay.
And so
there's no way to end this on a happy note, except for that if you have questions, and there's a lot still to be discussed. They have a full timeline. Are you guys going over the timeline of film?
I mean,
that's a lot.
The timeline is too big, but we will answer. We will have an agenda, and we'll try to follow that agenda to the best of our ability. Because this is nothing that we would normally plan or do, and so it's going to be from our heart and our energy to help satisfy the people in the community. And
who's going to be there speaking? And you, Judy?
The board will be there.
The board will be there. Okay.
And also the Friends of the Fair, Trish Schlichting will be there.
Okay.
And other partners with.
How are the Friends of the Fair doing? Because I know they're two different entities.
They are.
I mean, they obviously you wouldn't be Friends of the Fair if you didn't care about the fair. So,
right. Friends of the Fair is our nonprofit that supports the fair, and what we have done or they do with those monies is that money goes back to the fairgrounds and is spent whatever is needed. It's not time.
Who decides that?
Well, the Jen has been giving
right.
us.
That's where I'm leading. So it's now what's going to happen with Friends of the Fair if the state comes in and does what they want to do? Where is the interest of Friends of the Fair? We can't even answer that, can we?
Right. I don't know the answer to that. And, it's how I feel about the money that Jen has built up to put out for those rainy days for, let me just say bleachers, and I don't mean that right now, but that's just an example. When things break down, she's got that money. And also, let's talk about the concerts a little bit. The concerts that she got, you have to have money, and you have to show those companies in order to get higher and higher talent. You have to prove to them. You have to have at least 3 great. You're building your base, and you have to have been able to pay those people, not back out, and you also have to have made money. And so that was Jen's goal also, was to use some of that money that she has to bring events to this community.
Well, she brought a lot. And one of the things that I'm proudest of is when she approached me to build the drive-in. It was an idea that I had back at Christmas time. I was driving home because I had the screen from Site B from the remodel. And Bishop Twin Theater, we built that and won the Merrill Award. I was really, really, really proud of that. Unfortunately, those 100-mile-an-hour winds did it in. But good times that we'd had. We got through COVID with that. Jen brought in the Metallica concerts. She brought in, I mean, we had a lot of fun.
We did.
And the last one was Al King and Zach. Sorry, that country.
That's okay.
That country, I'm sure they know it down on the end of the road. But Bob, or better known as Vanilla Ice.
Yes.
Yeah, he was fun and
good for you.
It's just to me, I'm trying to remain neutral here, but I just don't see those things continuing in our community.
Well, I want to end on a positive note, and that is our board is doing everything. I want the community to know that. We are doing everything we can in our power to bring Jen back, reinstate Jen, and keep our fairgrounds going. I mean, this has been a horrible abuse of power, and that's hard to fight, Jason. But
well, I'm not agreeing with abuse of power. I'm just saying that's hard to fight. Well, it is hard to fight. Gotta remain neutral.
But we're doing everything we can. We're actually people are doing petitions, and people are sending letters. And so those of you who are listening, the positive people that do love and care about this community, and your family and your children, your grandchildren, and those pies that you make at the fair, please send letters to Karen Ross, to the governor's office. You can bring them to the town hall meeting. You can drop them off at the fairgrounds, who will mail them for you. We'll have addresses for you, but that certainly would help. And Jason, if there's anybody out there that has any connections with any greater news organizations, I don't care which ones, please help us get our story out.
Yeah, absolutely.
About a small town being taken over.
Yeah. I'm working on the San Francisco Chronicle for you right now, and then hopefully for you guys to be able to tell your story. And what would be good about them coming in as opposed to me, I'd love to have you guys back on and know how the town hall meeting went. Maybe you can come back later this week, but I would really like it to be somebody that's outside of the community that is able to do their investigative work and really find the answers like that. And just because somebody like me, I'm just too close to the situation with you guys. And but I love my community, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here in the studio to try to keep things going. So, guys, we got to go to the legal ID. We're at the top of the hour. Joanne Parsons, thank you so much for coming in. United Methodist Social Services building right there off of Fowler Street. It is going to be at 6 o'clock, and I know they're saying 7:30 is the ending. I know, though, you have tons and tons of questions based on what we talked about. Get them written down so that you're ready, and hopefully we can get the information to you that you want in regards to this audit and the report that came out, because I'm sure that there's a lot more that hasn't been answered.
That's right.
Thanks to you again for coming along.
Thank you so much.